Welcome once again to the Senior Health Podcast, where the East and West collide to reveal the keys to a long life, resilient hearts, and contented aging. We jump right into a discussion in today's episode that may alter your perspective on your dinner plate, because if you're over 60 and frequently consume these 5 vegetables, you may be unwittingly putting undue strain on your heart, circulation, and general vitality. A guy who has witnessed more than a century of life and influenced how it is lived is here to lead us through this crucial conversation. Today, we have Dr. Shigeyaki Hinohara, the oldest active physician in Japan. Thank you for coming, Doctor. Let's get started since I know we want to get started right now. John, thank you. Thank you for your urgency. Since vegetables are always viewed as healthy, we are constantly focused on what we should eat and forget entirely what we should not consume. As a result, many individuals ignore this topic. However, not all vegetables are beneficial for every age group, particularly after the age of 60, when the body becomes more susceptible to digestion, inflammation, and mineral loss. Today, we're going to focus on 5 common veggies that seniors may be consuming without being aware of their potential risks. Yes, let's start with tomatoes, raw tomatoes in particular. Warmth soothes the heart, as they say in Japan. Tomatoes are harsh, chilly, and acidic when raw. They increase stomach acid and interfere with digestion when consumed in excess in salads, sandwiches, or liquids. Many elderly people no longer have enough stomach acid to cope with this. As a result, the tomato ferments in the stomach and creates bloating or reflux rather than being broken down. Additionally, this reflux stimulates the heart by activating the vagus nerve. In my experience, eating a tomato salad for dinner might cause palpitations in patients at night, not stress. That's amazing. Though modest, that builds up with time. What starts off as a little bloating or a little flutter might gradually develop into persistent discomfort that we write off as age. In actuality, though, the body is attempting to protect itself, adapt, and communicate signals. And those little everyday annoyances add up if we don't pay attention, taxing our heart, depleting our energy, and disrupting our sleep in ways we don't completely understand. The toughest to detect and most crucial to address is the creeping, invisible toll. That's right, there is continuous contact between the digestive and neurological systems. They are nuanced, accurate, intricately linked, and always conversing, much like lifelong couples. The heart, which is controlled by both, gets uneasy when the neurological system reacts to irritation of the digestive system, such as bloating, acidity, or pain. The stomach's difficulty processing what we've eaten may be the cause of what we perceive as uneasiness or restlessness. So instead, be careful with your tomatoes. Cook them gently. Allow the fire to turn their acerbic edges into warmth. Make them into a mild broth with olive oil and ginger that is calming and sustaining. Alternatively, add tomato paste to stews that are cooked slowly, as its acidity will soften and combine with other ingredients to create richer flavors. Tomatoes, treated this manner, can promote circulation rather than interfere with it. Your digestion, your heart, and your sleep will all appreciate it. When I think about all of this, I'm humbled by how much our general health may be affected by even the simplest dietary choices. These veggies are familiar, even comforting, to many of us because they are a part of our own favorites, family recipes, or cultural customs. However, as we become older, we need to continue to inquire more than just if a dish is nutritious. Instead, is this cuisine now appropriate for me? Because what is beneficial at age 30 may be detrimental at age 70. This leads us to yet another unexpected illustration. A common vegetable in Asian, Indian, and Mediterranean cuisines is eggplant. You mean it's on your list? Indeed, the nightshade family includes eggplant, or nasu as it is known in Japan. It includes solanine, a substance that can cause blood vessel inflammation and irritation of the intestinal lining. Although solanine is typically exclusively thought of in relation to joint pain, It also disrupts circulation, causing mild inflammation that puts strain on the heart. The true issue is that eggplant absorbs oil like a sponge when it is cooked, and elderly people already have trouble maintaining a healthy lipid balance. Before they started eating eggplant dishes every week, I had patients whose cholesterol was under control. After being taken out, the numbers fell once more. Since eggplant appears to be so innocent, that is really sensible. It's soft, adaptable, and appears in a wide variety of hearty recipes, like as stir-fries, lasagna, and Mediterranean spreads. The majority of people consider it to be a healthy and innocuous staple. However, we hardly ever think about how our cooking methods or frequency of consumption can be subtly contributing to problems. That's why this is so enlightening. It serves as a warning that even well-known foods can have unspoken costs, particularly as people age and their bodies grow more delicate. It's about being ready, not about being afraid. Grill eggplant till it's soft, not burned if you must eat it. Use as little oil as possible, and stay away from thick cheeses or sauces that might make digestion even more difficult. Serve it alongside bitter greens such as arugula, mustard leaves, or mizuna. These aid in promoting equilibrium by stimulating the enzymes that counteract the absorption of oil. In order to ground the body after eating, I also suggest pairing it with warm miso broth or daikon. Additionally, you should only have it once a week. It takes time for your body to recover. Even difficult foods can be beneficial when consumed with respect and intention, but only when consumed in the appropriate form and at the appropriate time. Everything comes full circle with that eggplant tip. The way we engage with vegetables, the frequency, the approach, and the balance is more important than the vegetable itself. A motif is beginning to emerge here. Even seemingly innocuous items can have a significant effect, particularly if we're not paying attention to how they appear on our plate. So let's continue. What food item is on your list next? It's celery, which I myself dislike eating, but which is a contemporary health symbol. However, older persons are at risk from raw celery, or worse, celery juice. It causes you to urinate more since it functions as a natural diuretic. That may sound useful, but let's face it. You're losing potassium, and heart rhythm depends on potassium. After taking celery juice in the morning, I've had patients experience lightheadedness, weakness, or mental haze. In reality, they were reducing the minerals that stabilize the heart, even though they believed they were purifying. What would you suggest in its place? Don't juice the celery. Instead, choose it. Eat it sometimes, but not every day. It is sufficient to take it twice a week, always with foods high in minerals, seaweed, sesame seeds, or fermented miso. That is really wise, and once more, it's about respect and moderation rather than eradication. I'm beginning to see that, depending on how we look at it, each of these foods has a backstory, a strength, and a possible vulnerability. To be honest, it's sobering to see how frequently we mindlessly follow fads without questioning whether the diet is still appropriate for our stage of life. In light of that, doctor, let's discuss spinach, another popular superfood that is favored by many elderly people who are concerned about their health. Is it truly that wholesome? It truly depends on how the spinach is prepared, but yes, it is healthful. Contains a lot of oxalates when uncooked. These can cause kidney stones, bone loss, and even arterial stiffness because they bind to calcium in the body. For 6 months, one of my patients drank green smoothies made with raw spinach every morning. He presented himself to me with erratic heartbeat, cerebral confusion, and joint pain. We found that the smoothie was the cause. To aid absorption, I suggested that he add fermented meals, rotate his greens, and steam his spinach. To further support his system, we also added tiny portions of foods high in minerals, such as seaweed and turnip greens. In less than a month, his heart rhythm steadied, his joints felt more free, his symptoms subsided, and his clarity returned. It was an amazing change, brought about by the meticulous improvement of everyday eating patterns rather than medicine. Therefore, it's about altering how we use spinach rather than avoiding it. The one-size-fits-all approach to health is seriously called into question by that. Instead than attempting to make the body adjust to our routines, it's about tailoring diet to the demands of the aging body. That's right. For elders, steamed spinach with sesame or barely wilted with ginger is lovely. Spinach's iron, folate, and antioxidants become more accessible when it is heated gently because it breaks down the substances that prevent it from absorbing minerals. It works well with fermented soy, sesame, or miso to produce a cuisine that stabilizes as well as nourishes. However, don't consume it uncooked or depend on it every day. Your body prefers variety to tedious, burdensome routines. Allow food to change as your life progresses. As you get older, allow it to change, lighten, and become simpler. That is a profound form of wisdom, not a limitation. This leads us to the last vegetable, and I must admit that when I was reading your list prior to the start of the show, this one truly got me thinking. Bell peppers that are green? This may be the item on your list today that most people believe to be absolutely safe, if not helpful. They are frequently eaten raw with dip or mixed into stir-fries since they are crisp and vibrant. But even the most basic meals can act very differently in an older body, as you demonstrated to us today. Tell us, then, about the history of green bell peppers. The unripe form of red and yellow bell peppers is called a green bell pepper. They include more stimulants of the neurological system and are more difficult to digest. This might result in bloating, an elevated heart rate, and occasionally restless nights for seniors. I've witnessed patients awaken at 2 a.m. with anxiety, not realizing it was caused by a stir-fried meal with green peppers. Would using red peppers be beneficial? Indeed, red and yellow peppers are constantly cooked and are riper, sweeter, and softer. If you have any heart issues or intestinal intolerance, you should never eat bell peppers raw. Since many seniors believe that eating raw veggies is healthier, the last point is really potent. Raw kale, raw peppers, and raw carrots have all practically become a badge of discipline. However, we almost never consider if our digestive systems can truly support that burden at this point in our lives. And instead of questioning whether our diet may be too demanding, we tell ourselves that the bloating, tight chest, and restless sleep are simply signs of aging. In the West, raw is synonymous with pure. In contrast, pre-digestion is a belief in Japan. Cooking is a respectful act. It eases the strain on your digestive tract and gets the body ready to absorb food without difficulty. Your message today is really beneficial and very clear. What it means to eat healthily in our older years has been redefined by you. Making healthy eating choices isn't enough. It's about selecting what the body can easily, gratefully, and calmly receive. Could you give us one last thought before you go? Indeed. We eat for speed while we're young. We have to eat for rhythm as we become older. Even if your meal is green, it is not your buddy if it causes tension in your chest, stomach, or sleep. It's really lovely. I'm grateful, Dr. Hinohara. Furthermore, this isn't about regulations for those who are listening. It has to do with rhythm. It involves paying closer attention to how your body is evolving. This is a polite invitation. Try out one of today's insights. You want to feel better, sleep better, and navigate life a bit more easily. Not because you have to. Make a minor alteration to one veggie from today's list. Instead of eating it uncooked, cook it. Use something softer to rotate it. During dinner, light a candle. After lunch, take a quick stroll. Your heart is listening and remembers every act of kindness, so even though these are modest, silent deeds, they have a powerful impact. Additionally, sometimes the meals we seem to be beneficial may actually be hindering us. We appreciate you being here with us today. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment if you found today's content useful. See you on the upcoming episode.